Hello everyone and welcome to my first Leagues video in quite a while. Last year I tried out the Twisted League and made a progress series on it, and recently there's been a lot of buzz about the Trailblazer League. I've been following it very closely and really excited for it to come out in a few days now. And I have a lot of plans on what I'm thinking and what I plan to do in the league. So I decided it was worth making a video kind of going over these thoughts before the league starts, so you can at least see where I'm thinking, because I don't want to bog down all the progress videos with a bunch of, well, this is what I'm planning to do. I'd rather actually do more things. So with that in mind, we still don't know everything in the league. Most of the relics and all the tasks are not known yet, so that might change my picks, but that said, I'm pretty confident in what I've chosen. To not beat around the bush, the regions I'm picking are Kandarian, Asgardia, and Fremnik, likely in that order. Now, to quickly go over the regions I didn't pick, let me just pull up the map so we have something to actually see here. But yeah, the first region I'm not picking is Desert, and that's just, there's just nothing here that interests me at all. The main guiding philosophy I've been using when picking the regions was pick the regions with the content you want to do, because that's what the tasks will be based around. And in the Desert, there's just nothing I want to do. It has the KQ, but it barely has any other unlocks. I mean, it does have the quarry and some thieving stuff, and it also does have ancient magics, but just none of that stuff really appeals to me, and it will have tasks I don't want to do, like the Mage Training Arena. The next region that I'm really not interested in is the Wilderness. I did consider this when the league was first announced, because I do kind of like Wilderness content. It would be cool to do some bossing, but originally it was planned to be a safe death in PvP, and now it's going to be PvM death, which means I need to pay to get my stuff back, and I just don't feel like that's going to be fun. It does have the magic or the Mage Arena capes, the Wildy Altar, and Ferox, which are some nice perks, and there are some good things from the Wilderness bosses, but there just isn't like that big of unlocks here compared to other regions, and I just am hesitant about picking it because of the PvP, and I just don't want to be, something gets locked down or just have to pay money because I keep dying. So I'm not going to be picking the Wilderness for that reason. Another one I did briefly consider was the Elflands over here, Terranin, or however you pronounce it. But, I don't know, I would like this so I could get Elite Void, but it really just doesn't offer much aside from, the Western Diary for me, because I'm not that interested in Zulrah. I really don't want to do Gauntlet or Corrupted Gauntlet, and I don't really care that much about the resources from Zalcano, and in general, Prif doesn't have much that interests me either, so it's not a great choice for me. And the final region, and the one I was considering the most, is Mauritania, because it has Barrows, Slayer Tower, Black Mass, Theater of Blood, and Nightmare. But the reason I ultimately decided against picking it is because I really don't plan on going that hard into Slayer. I probably will get it a bit higher, because I will get 16 times experience, but I don't think the Black Mask is that important for how I want to be playing. And the other reason is, I've yet to do Theater of Blood or Nightmare, and I'd rather not do them first on Leagues. And aside from that, while I would love to have Barrows armor, I really don't want to grind Barrows. So it seemed like it wasn't the best choice for how I want to be playing. For the regions I did pick, Kandarian is the first, and that's because, well, this is a really big region. I mean, it's all of Feldep Hills, the Myths Guild, Castle Wars, keep clicking map links, Artie, Sears Village, Catherby, Nome, and a whole Piscators region. It's a really big region. There's not that much big content that appeals to me here, but it just has so much in it, and the same is true for Asgardia, but I feel there's a lot in this region that I'm going to take for granted if I don't pick it. I'm just so used to having these regions when I play RuneScape that I'm likely going to overlook a lot of their versatility and utility, especially when it comes to skilling. So that's one reason, and it does have unlocks I'm interested in too. This region has Waterfall Quest and Fight Arena, Murder Mystery, some very nice early game quests, which is why I'm going to be picking it first. It also has access to the Dragon Scimitar. Late game I'll have Zenites. I can kill the Kraken for the Trident, Smoke Devil for the Occult, and it also has access to Piety and the Dwarf Cannon if you pick it alongside Asgardia. So in general, it just has a lot of content, also ZMI, Barbarian Fishing, Fighter Torso. It's just a very well-rounded region and a very safe first pick. The second region is Asgardia, and this was actually the first region I was dead set on for two reasons. As Defenders, as God of War's Dungeon. I'm planning to go pretty melee focused because melee is just the best combat style in a format like this. The relics might change that, but it's just very easy to say I can get a whip from the starting region, Missalin, and Grom's is also a free unlock. So between these regions and just going for a whip, getting a defender to support that, and taking the whip to God War's Dungeon sounds like a fun plan to me. Aside from that, Asgardia does also have pest control for Void Armor. It has some quests that I'll need it for Get Piety and the Dwarf Cannon. I know there's some other quests I'm probably just lapsing on right now, but I don't know, it's a good region. God War's Dungeon alone is a big reason to go for it, because I've been doing God War's Dungeon in the main game, and I kind of want to try it out on Leagues. And the final region is Fremnik. Now, originally I wasn't too sure if I wanted Fremnik, but the reason I decided to go for it over Mauritania especially is because I feel like having the +8 strength ring and the +6 strength helm does kind of almost outweigh or at least make up for losing the black mask, and it will be very useful for stuff like God War's Dungeon. And in general, there's nothing in Fremnik I don't want to do. I'm okay with doing Vorkath. I'm looking forward to doing Dagonot Kings. Getting the prayer books would be cool. And I'll also get access to, the Fremnik helms. Even the Archer's helm will likely be pretty good. And one thing that is easy to overlook is it has Keldagrim. And Keldagrim's important because it's the only place with a stonemason. And I love myself my player-owned house here. It's one of my favorite things in the game is building this place up. Now, I'm not sure how much I'll build it up. It's a league. I probably won't go for, 99 construction. Maybe I will. Who knows? But I'm probably not going to build it up as nicely as I build up this player-owned house. Still having the access to marble, gold leaf, and magic stones for some of the stuff. Like, if I want to build, I don't know, some of the stamp pools. It probably won't matter too much in Leagues. I can't get to the final tier because I don't have anti-venoms. But just having the options for stuff like that, the jewelry box, it's something that will likely interest me, even if it's not that important. So alongside everything else Fremnik has, it's really good. And the other reason is Fremnik has Dragon Slayer 2, which means I can access the Avis device, the Assembler from Vorkath, and it also unlocks all the guilds. So I'll get the Legends guilds and Myths guilds from Kandaren with Fremnik. So I don't know, in general, these three regions, I've seen it referred to as AFK, because that's what they abbreviate to. Although, for me, it's going to be KAF, so CAF. Anyway, these regions just have a lot of good synergy, and they have a lot of the content I want to do. Maybe once I see the relics and tasks, I will change my mind, but I honestly can't think of any tasks in these regions I'm that opposed to doing in the league. Like, just trying to brainstorm. So Asgardia will likely have a task for Void. There'll probably be one for the Maxscape, because that's where the Maxscape Island is. I'm fine with just ignoring that. They'll likely have Prospector, the Falador Diary, Wyverns, Cerberus drops. Cerberus is another reason I love to pick this region. And God War's Dungeon. I can't think of much else in there, because you can't do the White Knights without the quest. You can't do the quest with just Asgardia, so that shouldn't be a task. And I don't know, I just don't know what else in this region will really make me hate it, or be like, oh, I don't want to do that task. Kandaren, on the other hand, has a lot of tasks, and some I'm not that fond of. It has Kraken Thermi, Barbarian Assault, so possibly Gambles there, Zenites, the Monkey Backpacks, not a huge fan of doing that, but I'm not opposed to doing it in the leagues if I need some points. Chompy Birds, once again, I've done it in the main game, not that opposed to doing it. The Western Diary for the easy and medium, the rest need Terrawin. The Kandaren Diary, the Artie Diary, Artie Rooftop, Minnows, Trawler. Trawler won't be fun, but also not that opposed to doing it to get the outfit if it's needed for tasks. Castle Wars, I really hope they're not going to put, like, you need 10,000 Castle Wars tickets for all these islands to complete a task or something silly like that, but I don't mind doing some Castle Wars. It would probably actually be fun doing it with relics, so I don't know, we'll see, but it might be a task. But it's also not a deal breaker, and also Wrath Runes will likely be a high-level task, and I actually think I'll be able to do that in the league, and that's because of the relic I'm picking, but we'll get to that in a minute. And the final region is Fremnik. Has DKs, God Books, Lunar Spells, Vorkath, the Fremnik Diary, Player-owned House, Blast Furnace, Basilisk Jaw, probably Mining Rune Ore, Killing a Kuresk. I can't think of much else here that's like a really high-level, really grindy thing that's going to annoy me. So, in general, I'm very confident with the regions, as I'm thinking of them right now. And as for relics, I did kind of hint at it, but out of the tier 1 relics, I am probably going to pick Skilling Prodigy. I've considered the other ones, and there's I think it's Endless Harvest. It gives double the resources for gathering skills and double experience. The reason I don't like it though is I don't like the autobank feature, because I kind of like being able to cut a tree and have logs in my inventory. I don't want to, cut a tree to light a fire and have to run to the bank because the logs are automatically banked. And in general, I just don't know how much I'll be doing any one skill. I really did consider Production Master, because if I want to make cannonballs, since I have access to cannon, that will help a lot. But the problem is I don't see myself getting a good supply of the ores or the bars to really justify Production Master. If I did get Prifdinous and was doing Volcano, that would be different. But just for how I'm planning to play, I don't think I'm going to get that many resources from PVM or other content to justify Production Master. And while Skilling Prodigy isn't great late game, it gets a +2 to all non-combat or +12 to all non-combat skills, which is huge for the early game. It will allow me to complete tasks quicker, and that's also really helpful because I honestly don't know how much I'll be able to play this league. I mean, it's a busy time of the year, so I might not have, a full 2 months to dedicate to playing. So being able to get that advantage of that boost and save training on skills, like if I want to make a torture, I really need that +12 boost. There's no way I'm going to get to 99 crafting or whatever it is without a boost. But, being able to do stuff like kill Abyssal Demons at 73 Slayer because of the +12, kill Cerberus at 79 Slayer, craft Zenite jewelry a lot sooner. Even small things like, if I have to catch a bass for a task, I could do it 12 levels sooner. So that saves so much experience. So even if experience is accelerated, I think it's worth it. And yeah, it also means if I get need to do something like craft a Wrath Rune, well, I can do it in the 80s instead of the 90s, which, will save a lot of time. So yeah, overall, I think, or that's what I'm thinking for leagues. When we see the rest of the relics and the tasks, I might change my mind. But, I don't know, unless something really major's there, I'm pretty dead set on these regions right now. Just mainly because, like I said, there's enough stuff in the other regions that deter me from them, rather than these regions having what I want. Like, I just don't see anything of value in the desert. I don't want to deal with the PvP in the Wildy. I don't want to do Theater of Blood or Nightmare and Mori. And I don't really want to do Gauntlet and just don't really care for the stuff in this region. So the only thing that might change is I might reconsider Mauritania, depending on what tasks are available there. If it doesn't have that many Theater of Blood or Nightmare that I feel like it's worth skipping, I might. But at the same time, I just don't see myself wanting to lose Fremnik for that. So anyway, sorry if this was a bit of rambly of a video, but when Leagues comes out, I'll have a progress series that hopefully will be less rambly, because I got all the rambling out here. So, yeah, I don't know, I'm really excited for Leagues. I have whole notes of a bunch of stuff I'm planning, but pretty much as I outlined, my plan is to get the Tier 2 Relic. After I get the Tier 2 Relic for 8 times experience, I'm going to try and do a bunch of quests, get Kandaren, go to the Waterfall quest, Fight Arena, Sea Slug, all that stuff, try and get to a Dragon Scimitar right away, start trading with that, and then just go wherever the game takes me at that point. Eventually unlock Asgarnia, then Fremnik, and just do a bunch of quests, get a bunch of experience, and kill a bunch of bosses. I don't have that much of a plan, haven't, planned out my early game step by step or anything. I just have some vague notes of things I want to do, and I'm really looking forward to playing. So, yeah, anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed hearing my thoughts, and I guess I'll see you in a few days with the first League video. Until then, thank you for watching, until next time, goodbye.